Hey, gorgeous. Welcome to Season 3 of the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L.E Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Kayla Smith, CEO of the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L Society, a women's health hub for fertility, hormones, and pregnancy, an integrative, holistic nutritionist, doctor of natural medicine and training, creator of the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L method, an infertility warrior, two-time boy mom, and women's health expert. This podcast is for women struggling with infertility, painful periods, terrible PMS, or really just any symptoms of hormone imbalance that they are ready to eliminate for good. Tune in weekly as we interview amazing experts in the field of women's health, breaking down those hormone walls, nerding out on nutrition, and having way too much fun. Whether you're beginning your journey or you've been struggling for years, we're going to finally help you put those pieces of your hormone puzzle back together so that you can get pregnant and eliminate those pesky symptoms for good. Not to mention, stay pregnant, have a healthy super baby, and easy postpartum. Are you ready? This season is packed with even more expert guests, sharing groundbreaking knowledge, giving you that jolt of energy that you so desperately need, sending you lots of virtual hugs, and inspiring you to take your fertility into your own hands and make that baby. Thank you all so much for tuning in and being amazing listeners. So now let's get started on your road to transformation. On today's show, we have Dr. Angeline Beltsos, who is the CEO and the clinical at Kindbody. Kindbody is the leading fertility and family building care company offering state-of-the-art technology, comprehensive virtual and in-person care, and an employer benefits solution. Dr. Beltsos is double board certified in Obstetrics and Gynecology and Reproductive, Endocrinology, and Infertility. Dr. Beltsos has served as the REI Division Education Director for Obstetrics and Gynecology residency programs of Illinois Masonic Medical Center, Lutheran General Hospital, St. Joseph's Hospital in Chicago, and Mercy Hospital. She is also a clinical assistant professor for the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at the University of Illinois, Chicago. Today, we're talking all about Kindbody and infertility and ways that Kindbody is working to improve the infertility community, as well as helping women and couples on their path to parenthood get pregnant through unparalleled patient experiences, innovative technology, and access to care for all, as well as affordable care. So now, without further ado, I would love to welcome Dr. Beltsos to our show. Hi, Dr. Beltsos. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too. I'm very excited by this conversation. So thank you. So let's dive into things. Tell us a little bit more about you and what really made you want to work in fertility and with women's health.
I was looking at, when I was in medical school, at what my options might be. And when I saw that door that said IVF laboratory, and I was doing my OBGYN rotation, I thought, wow, can you imagine helping people have a family? And I was like, that's what I want to do. So I did my OBGYN training, which I loved, because being a gynecologist and being involved in a woman's healthcare and her journey from being young, even adolescent gynecology, all the way through menopause and helping people have a family in between was just an amazing, amazing opportunity. So I'm very excited to be a reproductive endocrinologist.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I feel the same. I just love working in women's health. It's just miraculous what the human body can do. So I can agree.
Right?
Yeah.
Totally.
So today we're going to talk about infertility. We're going to talk about Kindbody. Definitely want to hear all about that. But let's start with infertility first. Can you give us just like briefly, we hear so many people struggling with this, but what exactly is infertility?
Well, many people, and depending on their circumstance, may want to have a family and may have difficulty getting there. It may take a little more time or a little more effort. When someone is 35 years or younger, we say infertility would be if they were unable to conceive within a year. But as we get over 35, we say that let's say 36 or into our 40s, that if it's been 6 months, it would probably be worthwhile to make sure someone had some initial testing for fertility.
And why do you think this is so prevalent today? I mean, 1 in 8, that's a pretty high statistic. So why do you think
some
that is?
Some people say 1 in 8, 1 in 7, 1 in 6. And some people, depending on their circumstance, may always need help with their fertility care. And people have looked at the demographics, the age that women achieve even their first pregnancy in the United States and in the world has gone up. So women are a little bit older when they decide to have their first child. And I'm sure if you look around to your friends or your family, that's probably true even with ourselves. We typically, probably grandmothers or great grandmothers would, in their late teens, find Mr. Right and start having children. Now women will go to school, like college or graduate studies. And so they delay getting into a relationship and getting married. Married couples have also delayed having children, getting settled, traveling, buying their, home. So even married couples don't conceive as early as they would normally have. And then with the fact that many people have had intimate relationships even when they're younger and had more than one partner in their life, sexual partner, that the risk of having infections and things can lead to infertility as well. And that has impacted things. One thing that's not always talked about either is male fertility, as well as the effect of the environment, what we eat, what's around us, and how that impacts our hormone levels. And we talked a little bit about that as well, that, making modifications, lifestyle modifications, may impact our fertility. And so all of these forces coming together have led to more people having issues with getting pregnant. Interestingly, for example, in Denmark, 1 out of 10 first graders is born from IVF fertility treatment.
Wow.
It's a huge number.
For sure. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. And you talk about testing. So how important is this, and how early should we really think about testing?
Testing for your fertility can be quite easy for women. It can include a simple blood test and an ultrasound to check our egg health. And those are looking at hormones like FSH, AMH. Those are checking egg quality and how many eggs we have left from when we were born. We can look at the ovary with an ultrasound. And so egg testing can be done that way. The uterus and the fallopian tubes can be tested with a ultrasound or an X-ray. And then for men, doing a simple semen analysis where they provide a sample of sperm and it can be examined for how strong the sperm is and how many. Those can be done depending, again, on someone's situation. If it's been a year and you're younger, we give you a full year to try. But if there are stories there as well, for example, I had a patient recently with a ruptured appendix when they were little. And that's a story that they may have more risk for having scar tissue in the pelvic area around where the appendix was. So for someone like that, one might consider doing testing sooner rather than later. Or someone, God forbid, with cancer in the past that they got chemotherapy, that person may want to do a semen analysis sooner, just to be sure that from the physical insult of something like chemo or radiation, that everything has recovered and is functioning well. So, but as women get older, our eggs don't work as long. So time is, on the clock there is more important. So in women who are late 30s then or older, they should have testing done if they haven't conceived within 6 months. And then depending on, like I said, people's stories, some people haven't found Mr. Right yet. And in those women, they may say, you know what, I'm not ready to try to have a child yet. So checking fertility can help someone decide if they want to do something like fertility preservation, which is saving eggs for the future, freezing eggs or freezing sperm or freezing embryos.
Gotcha. So it sounds like lots of testing options for us. And now I want to lead into Kindbody. And, I was looking on your website and oh my goodness, you guys have such an amazing array of different services. So talk to us about that. What is Kindbody and kind of the inspiration behind that? And then some of the services you offer.
Thank you. Yeah, well, we at Kindbody have a whole fertility clinic where we can help people, again, get pregnant now or later. Mm-hmm. So that includes, again, that same idea of freezing eggs or embryos or sperm for the future, and or helping people become parents right now and through whatever might be needed. And we provide all types of services at our Kindbody locations that are throughout the United States. And we also believe that it's important for people to have the ability to have coverage, access to care. And so we help employers provide benefits to their team members, and we service them with that same relationship to help them become parents.
I love that.
And yeah, the services are broad reaching because sometimes it's also about some women's health issues and helping people have reproductive wellness now and later. And it's not just for women, it's also for men too. And that includes holistic approach too, because sometimes with diet and exercise and micronutrients that are very important to the brain, to the heart, to the body, and to fertility.
For sure. And I love that we're talking about that because this is something we talk about on the show a lot, that just diet and lifestyle plays a big piece of this. So it's so very important.
Well, that saying, you are what you eat, and a lot of us don't eat as well as we should. So.
Right. And I noticed you have lots of locations across the U.S. and you also do virtual services, correct?
Absolutely. We have clinics in many different areas of the country, and from Midwest to the East to the West, North, and South. And we're here to help as many people as we can with their reproductive health and to help them become parents, as I mentioned. And then we also do most of our consults with a virtual component. And I was talking to this patient yesterday, and as much as it's lovely to be able to actually physically be together, which we love, I think humans just love to be in with our recent experiences with COVID being so separated. I think people felt the impact. However, in busy lives, it's certainly convenient to be able to hop on a virtual consult, a video conference, be able to have a conversation, and then be able to still, if you're a kindergarten teacher, not have to leave for that whole day and park downtown and all that. I mean, I think virtual consults can be very helpful and convenient.
For sure. Yeah, we do. My practice is virtual, and I was virtual before it was cool. And it's like so convenient for lots of people. So I get it.
Right. Get it. And with us, I've been like you working with patients from all over the world. Mm-hmm. So when we would have patients in Europe and Asia and Australia, I mean, we would do this virtual and then whatever needed to be in person, they would travel only for those obviously essential moments. But yeah, it's amazing. It's transformed, I think, how I've practiced medicine pre, during, and post-COVID too.
For sure. I love that. Well, we're going to take a short break. We're going to hear a word from our sponsors. We're going to come back and talk more practical tips. We talked diet and lifestyle, but what are some of these things that we can do to optimize our fertility? So we'll be right back. Hey y'all, it's Coach Kayla here. I hope you are loving this episode as much as I am. We will be back in just a minute, but first, a word from our sponsors. Did you know you can quadruple your chances of conception by accurately timing your efforts during your fertile window? Yes, you heard that right. How can you do that? That brings us to today's sponsor, KEG. KEG is a fertility monitor that tracks your most important fertility indicator, cervical mucus, to discover your full fertile window, the 5 to 6 days when you have the highest chances of conceiving. Do you want to know when you have the highest chance of getting pregnant? Start tracking your fertility with KEG. Visit keg.tech, that's KEGG.tech, to get your KEG with a 12-month pregnancy guarantee, meaning you will get 100% of your money back if you don't become pregnant within the 12-month period. Visit keg.tech to get yours today. Use code podcast10 at checkout for $10 off. Welcome back, Dr. Beltsos.
Thank you. So we were just talking about how important it is to think about our fertility and all the different aspects that can lead to someone needing help. I think you focusing on this is such a great way to elevate the conversation to the public.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. So let's dive into practical tips. What is it? I know you guys do a lot of preconception care at Kindbody. And so can you walk me through that a little bit? What are maybe some of your top tips that you tell your clients on how they can optimize their fertility?
Optimizing fertility can be even simple things. Let's start with micronutrients. I think people often, if you study how many people actually eat all the foods and vitamins that we're supposed to take in, probably 90% of us miss at least some things, if not many. So micronutrients like CoQ10 can be possibly impactful for egg health and sperm health. Vitamin D can be very important to make the uterus sticky. And so when the embryo's in the uterus, its ability to attach has been studied, and vitamin D levels have been watched. So you eating foods that are rich in vitamin D, like milk and calcium, is important as well. So these are things that we look at even when someone's been trying to get pregnant. The other thing, like lifestyle modifications, sleep. If you are watching any of the studies on how important sleep is to fertility, especially men who may be burning the candle at both ends, getting a full night's rest has changed their sperm parameters for some guys dramatically, because physical stress on sperm production is an issue. People have looked at smoking, and smoking is one way to go through menopause and burn up eggs way faster than your biological clock. The best predictive age of when we will go through menopause as women is when our mom did, but that's something that can be changed. When you talk about vaping, and then that kind of leads into marijuana use that's now become more legal, that has also impacted fertility. So we recommend minimizing the exposure to smoking, marijuana, and vaping as well. People ask, can I have my coffee in the morning? And coffee is okay as long as it's done in moderation. And so if you've had your morning coffee, then try to go decaf after that, and making sure that you chase it with a lot of water, because water is needed as coffee is actually is a dehydrating agent. It makes us dehydrated. So you got to chase that. And then that asks the question about other drinking, alcohol use. Obviously, if you think you're pregnant, it's important to, if you've ovulated and you're in that phase, to not drink alcohol when you think you might be pregnant or you are. Prior to that, it is okay to have alcohol, but just again in moderation, no binge drinking, and trying to have it with a lot of water as well.
I love that. I get that question a lot. It's about the coffee and the alcohol. So I'm glad you touched on that. Amazing. Amazing. And how about supplements? I know supplements are very individualized, and obviously, I always give this caveat, don't ever take a supplement if you hear it on the show, because we're not advocating for anyone. But what is your take on supplements? Should we be taking them? Should we not be taking them?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think there are a lot of great resources on micronutrients or supplements, and you can get supplements at your favorite drugstore. You can buy them online. You can find them in holistic and Eastern medicine. So I think it's important to be guided and try to find someone that knows the story about that particular supplement. Everything can seem like it's really great, but it can also always be important to talk about. An example might be vitamin A. Vitamin A is great for skin. So acne is treated with vitamin A. And yet, on the other hand, vitamin A at high doses when you're pregnant can be dangerous. That's an example of just making sure you have conversations with trained people around supplementation. And I think, again, supplements, micronutrients can be very helpful. And it's important to talk to people that are trained on them around fertility and pregnancy.
Gotcha. Well, let's switch gears a little bit and talk more about Kindbody. So walk us through, what is it like to work with you guys? Where do we start, and how does that process get going?
Yeah, thanks for inviting that question as well. So one of the things that I think we're really focused on in three different pieces. One is the patient and helping you navigate these decisions. So you can contact us and have your first appointment with one of the reproductive endocrinologists that we have on staff. And we, like myself, will meet with you, either mostly virtual, but also in person if that was important to certain people, to go over, first off, educating. I think education on just what our body is doing and how it works. And a lot of us are like, oh my gosh, I'm brushing off the cobwebs from our 5th grade sex ed course. But a lot of us haven't been, even my OBGYN doctor patients don't really think about it, their fertility in this way. So one of the first steps after an explanation of how fertility and these important markers, what they mean, what the numbers are, is to do the testing. So we will do at-home testing. So for our virtual patients, and let's say someone lived in Nashville and they wanted to see me, I can also send a Kindhome at-home kit to them for them to do some of the monitoring to check the egg health and some of the fundamental hormones for men and women. These include, for example, that we talked about a moment ago, FSH, AMH, anti-Müllerian hormone, antral follicle count, and a semen analysis, as well as looking at the uterus. And at Kindbody, we have the pulse, which is a simple way of combining all these essential tests into one kind of package, so those can be organized. A lot of doctors are going to tell you to come around the time of your menstrual cycle, depending on the hormone we're checking. But otherwise, it can be something that can be done, some of these tests at any time. We also look at the thyroid hormone, the breast milk hormone, and preconception, you were alluding to that, is also knowing that your body has good chemistry. So you look at the blood count and your chemistry panel. Sometimes things are off there that you didn't even realize. And some of the symptoms that we blow off, right, Kayla, that you're like, oh, I'm not tired. It must be just my work. And then your thyroid's completely out of whack, and that's affecting fertility. So it's interesting how all the nuances can come together. An interesting other test that we offer at Kindbody is genetic carrier screening. And before you get pregnant, it's good to know if you and or your partner carry any conditions that you have inherited from your parents. These are recessive traits that you wouldn't know that you have, but if the partner shares it, there is a possibility of the baby getting it. So that's another preconception test that's really important to have done. Then at Kindbody, we are able to help people no matter what their story. It might require inseminations. It might involve in vitro fertilization. And how many children someone wants is an important question. So kind of, you think about your education, you think about planning your future, your finances. Well, it's really important to take control also of your fertility and know where you want to land. Obviously, for some patients, they want to be pregnant today, but they actually want 3 or 4 kids. And so doing IVF and creating embryos for the future can be a way for someone who's in that fragile age of 38, 39, and they're having their first child and they want 3 or 4 kids. Well, by the time we're in our mid 40s, most of us, our eggs stop working. Mm-hmm. So if that's something important, kind of having strategy around that is something Kindbody really is excited about participating in. And sometimes our eggs did stop working. So we have our own Kind EOS, which is our egg donor program, where we have eggs, we have gestational carriers that can help. And some people need someone to help them carry their baby because for whatever reason, whether it's a condition they carry or their uterus may be damaged and they need help with that. So all of the services that one could want, I think in today's world, we are very innovative and very in front of research and development of different technologies. And really, I feel like it's important to be on that side of the curve to bring the latest to my patients and to our patients at Kindbody.
Oh, wow. I love that. Sounds like I said before, I looked at your website and I was just blown away. Just so many amazing
Thank you.
And such
I appreciate that, Kayla.
Yeah, I love it. So one other piece I would love to pull into this is talk to me about the employee benefits piece. So what does that look like? How do you guys get involved with companies and provide these benefits to the employees? And if I work for a company that doesn't have this, how do I get you guys involved?
Thank you. So the other part of we have the clinic side where we have our physicians that provide reproductive health care to both men and women. And by the way, we also have a urology side where we help men as well. And then the other piece of our organization is where we help companies like Lyft as an example, where those employees are able to have fertility care without having this idea that it's not covered at all. And for many patients around the world, they don't have any benefits. So they have to pay for all of this themselves. And at Kindbody, we connect with employers of all sizes and help them provide access to fertility care and wellness through our clinics as well as through some of our colleagues. So this is really important to me, is that fertility care and being a parent should not be just with people that have extra money to spend. This should be available to all of us, to all people. And I'm really impressed and excited to have this as part of the services we offer. And so when your company does not have these benefits, it is a conversation to invite and to say, let's get Kindbody involved. And we do have, ironically, it's funny because the people speak, women and men say, I want this as part of our benefits. And recruiting vibrant women and men in their workforce that are committed not only to the good work that company does, but to the employee's life too, that they support them getting to parenthood and helping them in that way. And people are much more likely to be loyal. They're much more likely to stay engaged in that company. So we've had employees say, hey, can you come and do the presentation to our HR team and our benefits team so that we can have these benefits at our work. And it's an amazing, amazing opportunity to help people.
Oh, I love that. I love that. It's
Me
amazing.
too.
Yes, yes. So tell us, where can we find you? Obviously on your website. So tell us what your website is again. And then are you guys on social media? How do we find you?
Thank you. So we are Kindbody, and it's really easy, just easy how it's spelled, kindbody.com. And we are on all the social media platforms. If you plug in Kindbody, you'll find us. And I'm the same, Angie Beltsos. And I am on Instagram and social media as well as on the website there. And I look forward to meeting with whoever needs my help personally and our company, whatever we can do to help you.
Amazing. Well, Dr. Beltsos, it's been so
Thank
fun
you.
to get to know you. Thank you for being
Me too,
here.
Kayla.
Yeah.
Congratulations on this amazing podcast and letting me be a part of this conversation and all the lives that you've touched with your work. I'm so proud of you and your accomplishments and anything we can do to support what the work you do. Let us know. We're really grateful to be part of this conversation and podcast today.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I would love any final thoughts, maybe a word of advice or inspiration you want to leave us with.
Absolutely. Don't give up. I know that a lot of people are at various places in their life, and some haven't even thought about being a parent yet. But whatever you're doing, wherever you're at least get some initial testing done. And wherever you are in this space and in this journey, don't give up, because there are so many resources to help you.
Amen to that. Oh,
amen.
Yes.
Amen, sister.
Yes.
I love it.
Again. So fun.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yes. And thank you, ladies, for listening to the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. Until next time. Bye. Hey, hang on just 1 second before you go. I want to make sure that you are aware of all of the amazing free resources that I have for you on my website at CoachKayla.com. From a fertility meal plan, a cycle syncing quick start guide, a holistic healing cookbook, as well as master classes, blog posts by me and some amazing experts in the fields of fertility, hormones, and nutrition. So many wonderful resources that will help you on your journey. And I wish there had been something like this when I was going through my 2 years of infertility, but there just wasn't. And so that's why I decided to create all of this for you. So make sure that you go and check it out and you take advantage of this plethora of support that I have provided for you. And spoiler alert, these were some of the same tricks and the same foods that I used to get myself pregnant, not once, but twice, even after my doctors said that I couldn't. So I know that these things work. Make sure you take advantage of that. And I cannot wait for you to be my next success story. So thanks, love. See you soon. Thanks for tuning in today to the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. Check out the show notes for today's episode at CoachKayla.com. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and leave a review. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next week.